Hey, everybody. Welcome to the fourth action.
Yay! Woo!
This is the part of the show where we all get together and talk about nonsense and junk and stuff.
Hey, I've got a couple of shout outs for us. We've got some new Patreon members.
All right.
Shout out to Dancin' Dan and Mark M and General Joey, and then Ben from the Discord chat. Patreon Ben has upgraded to a silver dragon.
What?
Can now shape change.
So Brook, how would someone join the Patreon if they wanted to?
Woohoo! All you got to do is go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd, and all the details are right there. You can join as a free member if you just want to be able to see some of our kind of Patreon email posts and things like that. Participate in a lot of the polls that we do, and then just for $5, you can get onto the Discord and chat and see all this behind the scenes things and stuff. The Silver Dragon that Ben just joined, I'll have to double check my memory, but Silver Dragon, you can start getting a lot of extra props. Not only do you get to be a part of Hero Points and Inspiration, but you also get some merch, like t-shirt, Silver Dragon t-shirt, some other things like that.
You'll get stickers, all kinds of really cool like little bits of flair.
Quarterly gifts. And more. It's good. It's cool.
From quarters and no.
Oh my gosh, we need to do a quarters and bits sticker
Or pin.
or a pin.
Oh, that would be good.
So I just noticed something.
What's that?
This fourth action is a little different than our normal ones.
It is. They can see us again.
They have to put up with our ugly faces. Well, four of us or three of us anyway.
That's right.
I'll let y'all decide who the other one is.
Stacy.
Jeremy's pretty.
We try to get. We've asked Emily for some makeup tutorials once or twice, and she just looks at us like,
there ain't enough makeup in the world, guys.
And if you're listening to us on audio only, if you're listening to us on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music or whatever you might be listening to.
If you're listening to any of those, allow me to tell you, we are extremely handsome individuals. Very good looking. Abs like you would not believe. It's amazing. I'm sorry, I may have cut you off there.
If you do want to see us and put a face to the name, you can go check us out on YouTube as well. Wayfinder Legends is there, and you can see all of our faces. And we probably don't look like what you think we do. That's usually the way it goes.
On YouTube, we're part of the Red Dirt RPG channel. So if you search for Red Dirt RPG, and you should be able to find us.
If you binge out and watch all of our episodes or listen to all our episodes, you'll find other Red Dirt D&D shows that are only on YouTube. We have some audio shows that are on YouTube that are pretty good.
Red Dirt Outlaws and Mysteries of Beatrix doing a homebrew. It's none of us. It's completely different cast members in Mysteries of Beatrix, and so you get to hear new voices and see new faces.
And you can even go back in time and check Monster Island, which is I think that show's finished, but all the episodes are there.
You betcha. That's good stuff. Speaking of the Discord and Ben, we also recently had some Discord images come to life.
Yes.
Come to life.
Oh my goodness, Ben! I gotta say, man, again, primo.
Our Patreon folks, there'll be pictures. We'll send them out in Patreon, so even the free members can get to see it. We'll send out an email message about what's going on. But yeah, remember, Emily, whenever we looked up in the Discord last time and you saw those pictures of Inara and Plame.
Hero
From Hero Forge, yeah.
I would just say those have come to life, and we saw them at TokenCon. So
that's awesome.
They are primo.
they're very cool.
Pretty
awesome.
So
He goes by White Monkey on there.
yes, the White Monkey. WIGHT, which makes me think he's in league with Stacy, but more on that later.
It does sound sinister, doesn't it?
It does.
It sounds worse than Blue Monkey, but when Plame was like, I think they're called a blue or no,
That's right.
A white.
A white. It's some type of color. Because Plame was the only one that made his.
Recall
Yeah.
knowledge.
Natural 20 on it. Yep.
We try to use recall knowledge a lot, and we fail a lot. Not very knowledgeable.
Is it wisdom based or is it intelligence based?
It depends on the skill. But
For instance, nature is wisdom.
wisdom, which is we're gonna fail.
Survival, I think, is wisdom.
We're gonna fail.
We're going to fail those, yeah. Flame's going to end up wandering around the woods the entire night, lost, come back to camp in the morning, wet
He's
bedroll.
He's done that already.
Oh, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I wonder. I think Nara actually has nature. I just don't think it's that great.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I think
It's
just
been
took
really
nature.
good on your nature rolls for Wargy.
Yeah. Which
Because how many?
has been
You
really
made like
cute.
5 or 6 of those now?
Yeah, I don't remember how many. That they were like
6.
they all needed to be above a 15, and I've gotten every one. So I think Wargy is just meant to be.
The dice are calling it out.
We're trying to not to go too far off topic, but since we brought up Wargy, we're trying to figure out what stats to use for that
Right.
little ball of wonderful fun kind fur.
You mispronounced demon puppy.
With the potty mouth.
In the process of looking up what other people have done to find warg puppy stats, I believe we've came across different people who have essentially been in our same situation in this same campaign where they kept the puppy.
Oh, wild.
And
Lord.
what a lot of people use is like wolf stats, or you can go with the lesser warg stats and then move them up. So I think we're kind of going with lesser. Are we doing like lesser wolf and then
Yeah, they will
move 'em
do
up?
lesser wolf now, and I'm almost like progressively moving them up in ages.
Yeah, and then go over to warg, and then
Yeah,
because
lesser
it's-
wolf,
Right.
greater wolf, lesser ward, or greater wolf works quite well.
Yeah.
Lesser wolf, probably.
Unless you end up taking Wargy as an animal companion, and then you'll get the animal companion stats, which kind of scale as you
Is that
level.
different?
Get hit points based on your level.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have warg specific stats.
This is where Stacy gets to craft it to make it whatever he wants.
It was good to see Wargy again as we went
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
and
Finally.
saw that he destroyed an entire guest room at the inn.
Wargy's left her there an entire day.
Yes.
That's right. I think someone pointed out it's only been 7 hours. So
Yes. Isn't that crazy? how many sessions we've been in that place, and like it's only a few hours.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All of the white fights, all of that second trip down, right? When from the entering into the crypt, and we should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque. Instead, we went to the other side and took a right turn. All of that was 7 hours. So crazy.
Our-
awesome.
Crazy.
Our party doesn't rest very often. We are like hard charging, get stuff done adventurers. We just go in, hurt, whatever. I mean, we have enough recovery with our skills and with our spells that we can bump each other up. Like with Plame is like nearly infinite healing now, just every in 10-minute increments. And my like burst healing with my medicine, we heal up after combat pretty darn fast. Just gotta kill things fast.
Which is a good thing because we die in combat really fast too. Or sometimes not in combat.
Or sometimes not.
Take a wrong step. Yeah, don't watch where you're walking.
Oh yeah, that.
There you
Oh,
go.
speaking of which,
Yeah.
we should probably talk about Fawin. We always talk about how Fawin stays out of danger. Fawin is least hurt. Fawin never gets in combat.
Jeez.
Curiosity just about killed the cat,
cat,
right?
right.
I mean, we're talking a little bit out of order, but yeah, she saw those books and was just like, no big deal. You know, Stacy said or maybe I even did. I even instigated a perception check. Yeah, I was wise enough to like, hey, I'm gonna check the room. What do we see?
It was a
natural
natural
one.
Yeah, maybe. And so
Yeah.
she just walks
Well,
right
I
over
think
toward the
everybody
bookshelf.
looked, and everyone, the highest roll in the group was like 1 point below what you get.
Yeah, what we're talking about is when Fawin marched into a gelatinous cube
Yes.
looking for some books. And
Oh,
it's always like, at least myself, I'm like, what kind of fool falls for a gelatinous cube? That's a stationary creature. Uh, nobody falls for that. And then what happens?
Walked right into it.
We all fell for it. None of us saw that dang thing,
They've
and we
changed
almost
it
lost.
so that they're pretty close to invisible when they're standing still.
Yeah, and Fawin was like one round away from possible like
Well,
big
she was
trouble.
able to fight her way out for a round, and that probably
Yeah.
saved her because it
Yeah.
allowed us to put a little bit more damage on it before she got developed again.
Yes.
Like twice. You'd think after the first time, Fawin would have avoided it, but
She does not have assurance in athletics. She was trapped in a corner. She couldn't jump up on a bookshelf. I mean, she was just like,
Yeah,
and back in it again.
we were paralyzed the first time when you got in there. Immediately.
100%.
Yes.
100% paralyzed, which, man, you talk about starting to go through your character sheet then, right? Because you're paralyzed. Like you can't move. So all you can do is mental actions, right? So then I'm like, okay, magic user. And you start looking what things are mental only. They don't have any they don't have the manipulative
No
trait.
manipulate.
What old school folks would have called somatic, right? Somatic
Yes.
or
Yeah.
verbal. So you start looking through what can you do that's manipulate. And a couple of things that I pulled out,
Yeah.
I think so.
You were able to act through your telepathic connection with Mesmer, and
Yep.
Mesmer was doing it, not so much you. But yes,
Always true.
Hypothetically, what happens if Fawin dies? What happens to Mesmer?
That is a fantastic question
Because I'm
that we
very
never want to
curious.
find out.
Okay.
I
So,
I think he binds the goblin. We have a goblin witch.
Oh my gosh, that
Because,
would be crazy.
we had that list of like in the Discord who
Yes.
didn't want to die, but
Wait, no,
Quinn
wait.
and Mesmer would they be the same together?
What was that?
I think
Stacy?
together they're just average.
Right.
Yeah. It again, if you don't know, then you missed out on Discord conversations and
Yeah.
stuff. But fantastic poll from the fans who, when they did the poll, had no idea what was going on in
God, no,
episodes. All we know is Inara, as we've been saying, is the fan favorite, right?
Absolutely.
Inara and Wargi close behind with a fan favorite.
So, you know.
We can talk about it later, but I think Inara's also starting to become Plame's favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That a very like kind of like a adopted child and mother moment. Very sentimental.
Well, Hal, you had a great
No,
pre-show. You and I were bantering. We were the first ones on. You had a great little thing that you noticed. Ask Emily about that. And Emily just mentioned it. This motherly thing.
Right, exactly. So that's something I guess maybe aside of Inara, we've seen it with animals maybe, but we haven't really seen it with I'd say people, but goblins, the sentient beings.
Humanoids.
So
And there's
maybe
a
showing off some
reason-
soft side there.
Yeah. There's a reason for it. There's parts of the backstory we might be able to see soon.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we
Emily
do
has,
know what's
there have been so many teasers lately. We found out that the backstory we saw, I thought it was happening in Absalom. And then the sword,
No,
was
no.
mentioned in Absalom, but no, it was in Varisia.
Yeah, I mean Magnamar, city in Varisia.
Yeah. And what would make her
Something like
affinitive to
that.
Plame? Like, I'm super excited
exciting.
about this.
Or maybe just small wounded creatures.
Any like
Yeah.
small little creature.
Small, pathetic, little no.
Inara
Any,
has a big heart.
small-
Jeremy, you're right. Inara does. Like, from episode 1, when she goes from having a small child army, left foot, right foot stab,
Yep.
to then saving the townspeople. Like, she's like, you guys get out of here and you do this and you do that, so.
Yes.
All right, well, to segue out of small, pathetic things, what about that doll?
Oh,
That was
The creepy
Creepy
doll.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're
Talk
back to
about-
the list of who does the fans want to see die? Stagger was at the bottom. He was first up. Oh, when you guys went into
Honestly,
the wanted to
No offense to the party, but I really don't want Stagram to die. Actually, I almost voted for him in the poll. over someone else, but I did it.
I'll be honest. I voted for only Stagram that he shouldn't die. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have voted for only Stagram since it was Stagram and Inara that saved
Oh yeah.
Fawin's life. Like if you guys hadn't been hacking at that thing to
Hey,
give me a
mostly
gap
Inara.
to come out, like
Now, wait a minute. Boddy took a huge chunk out of it too. Thank you very much. Yeah, Stagram almost killed himself.
That's right. His hand.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Stagram did get
the doll. That doll was nasty.
that doll.
I
was
did not
gross.
expect it to do that kind of damage to you guys.
I mean, it was like Chucky on crack. I mean, just all over the place.
And the thing is, I just got my sword upgraded. I was ready to kill some things, and then it was something I could not hit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
Yeah,
thing
those-
was nasty.
Those soulbound dolls, what they're called.
Oh,
And there's actually some lore behind them. There's lore behind that one in particular. It has like a backstory. Yes.
is it backstory you can reveal, or are there more secrets to figure out later?
Don't think it ties into anything else. Yeah, so soulbound dolls are made because I said inside it was a little gem. You guys crushed it.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
little prism that's inside of it contains a chunk of a soul. And that's why they're called soulbound dolls. You bind the soul to it and you animate on them. It's like a type of necromancy. And this one was taken from a Hell Knight who died of like sepsis or something, a very ignoble death around.
yes.
And the local what do you call them, signifiers, they're spellcasters, decided he was going to make a little familiar. And then when they left, everyone thought it was creepy itself, so they made him leave it behind.
Oh, and that's why it was like, you left me.
Yeah, take me with you. So he died. He died a horrible Oregon Trail style death, and they put him in a
Died of
doll.
dysentery. Yep.
Yeah, and they left him. They left him there to just to go mad in a gym prison.
That's
Craziness.
sad.
He went full Chucky down there. Yeah.
Welcome to Galarian, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically said that any character carrying any kind of Hell Knight insignia or items will be attacked.
Yeah.
Oh really?
In the nodule.
Walk them into the full armor. It's like,
Well, lived up to that promise. I thought Staggern was in big trouble because it stabbed him like twice or 3 times.
So if he just
What?
wasn't there, we would have been fine.
it still would have attacked, but it would have been more random.
Okay.
Yeah. He just decides who gets hit first.
going after him.
And then at the end, Plame got to have just a little bit of fun when Staggrim
Oh,
rushes
yeah.
the gym. And
He
then
goes,
and Boddy's like, I sure hope that doesn't possess anybody.
That was
And then
funny.
Plame immediately jumps into the act. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And fools us.
Rolled like a 27 performance.
Yes.
26. I can't remember. It was really high. It was hilarious.
Oh, you're evil. little
Yeah,
bastard.
not cool.
I did connect with humor.
Yeah.
I think Inara was about to hit you, buddy. I think she was this close. She's like, oh, well, too bad.
Staggrim got his got something hung up on his thing because Stacy was like he was pulling a sword.
Second was like, nope. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, good knowing you, Plame.
We
Yeah,
continue.
the room was full of stuff. Which I don't even know if you guys found everything in that room. Dead bodies.
Don't know.
And
We're not quite done yet.
clues and-
Nope. We're still
Still, yeah,
looking.
the frog guys.
Oh, we
the frog
went
guys,
past that
the
room. That's right.
bogies.
Yep.
Yeah, there was dead frog guys in that room. That's what I was talking about.
We checked them out.
They call them
Boggers,
boggers.
Boggers.
Yes, boggers.
Yes.
which are fantastic. They're
Mhm.
kind of like they're frog
Frog.
guys instead of lizard men. They're
Yeah,
frog
like-
guys.
What they
Yeah.
what do they
Like
call it?
bullfrog guys.
The Bullywugs?
Oh, the
Bullywugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bully-
Are
Bullywugs.
the B or a P? Are they Pollywugs or Bullywugs?
Bullywugs.
Bullywugs. Yep. Yeah. So
Bullywug.
the Pathfinder version of that.
Yeah.
But they were dead already. They were dead when I got there. Had nothing to do with it.
The number of times we've had to use that line.
I know. They were on fire when I got there. I had nothing to do with it.
Probably the biggest thing we got out of that is literally like the next level, right? Is this clue about the cinder claw,
Oh,
you know, and that blue flaming dragon claw emblem. Which once again, we're all tanking on our knowledge checks except for Inara, who
Oh,
You know,
yeah. I
which
kinda
makes sense.
forgot about that. Yeah.
She has a bit of an affinity for dragons.
yeah.
Some dragon lore.
And that is also when the DM suspiciously had a giant blue dragon figurine on the table.
Just Jeremy's. He bought this game.
That's right.
I was like, yeah, keep it. We'll use it.
Does Inara have dragon lore, and can she speak Draconic?
No,
Oh.
she doesn't.
Neither one of those two.
No, it's not quite that in depth.
That's cool. I didn't know.
She's rolled good.
Nope.
We don't know a whole lot about Inara's background, so
I'm
I
excited.
know she has a sister named Pris that she's talked about in her sleep, and
Mhm.
she likes to fight stuff, and that's pretty much.
And she's from far away from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Far, far away.
And she's killed just a ton of bugbears.
Yeah, but she's bored of killing skeletons.
That's right. Aren't we all? But on the positive side,
you
knock
guys
on
can-
wood, I think we might have actually finished the undead side of that
Yes.
basement with any luck.
Have.
Yeah.
I think so.
Congratulations.
I think we
So
quenched
that's
that
gotta be
fire.
The worst of it.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Surely the rest is easy, right?
That's right.
Although once again, like Paizo doesn't disappoint. And I just love the way they mix old and new. Like the Soulbound doll, I don't know what that is. I think that's a Paizo original with a couple of classic things, you know, bullywugs or boggarts. And then the ooze. I love the flavor they have for old school. And then they mix it up.
So we killed the doll. Mullen
Yeah.
got eaten by an ooze. And there was what's the line? There's always room in Jello. So you can have more than one person in there. Right? We got a whole
I
party.
could have shoved the whole party in there. This little time.
That's right. And then we found a painting, a very
Yes.
nice painting,
Very nice, baby.
Yep.
which our chintzy cheap DM would not even give us a hero point for it.
Because Inara and Fawin were talking about selling it to the fur place that had like a thing for paintings, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got Debiri.
I didn't realize she was a woman until we saw the picture. Now, I remembered back that when we opened the crypt, you talked about long hair.
Long hair.
Yeah. But for some reason that got once they started swinging undead swords at us, that got filtered out of my mind
it
until
doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah. I think we probably could have sold it through the magic shop, Shaylin Smiles. The magic
shop. Oh my
Magic
gosh,
shop.
Brook. Stacy crafted some magic of his own, perhaps there, because Brook got confused somewhere. The first time we went to Shaylin Smile, we picked up a couple potions. In my player brain, it was a magic shop. And
We had
so-
them identify something there too.
Yeah, right. And so I'm like, hey, let's just go back to the magic shop and have them do the work with the swords rather than quarters and bits, which seems more mundane. Although they've got that ability to transfer, this will be more fun. And we don't have to put up with that crazy halfling, right? But instead,
Deal for you.
Yes.
instead, we realized that Shaylin's Smile is actually like an
It's the Artisans Guilds. It's the Artisans Guild.
Yes,
Artisans.
but also it's a temple to Shaylin because Shaylin is like the goddess of art and beauty.
Temple. Yeah.
It's not a shop.
Yeah,
It's not a shop. Brook's coming in looking at all the beads and, you know, the rosaries and wow, that's a really great sculpture on the wall. Can I buy that? You know?
Yeah. And that really gaudy statue.
Stacy, was that description like box text, or did you embellish that a little bit with more Shaylin stuff?
It didn't. They don't have box text for a lot of the shops.
Yeah.
They just have like kind of a summary. Like, for example, the halfling at quarters and bits. Yes, he is annoying and will try to pitch stuff to anybody who comes by, and then they can leave it up to the DM. In this case, it said that half of it is like offices, a normal, artisans guild, and then the other half is a temple to Shaylin filled with art, and that's kind of all it says. And so then I just started running with it and making stuff
Awesome.
up.
Oh wow. So is the statue, is that your creation?
I think it's in my brain. Yeah.
Man,
I just
that is
tried to imagine
awesome.
what it would look like, and then okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like with every little square inch is filled with some kind of art or
Like
Yeah.
mosaics and bas relief, bas relief
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
And a creepy elf that comes stepping out of paintings or something. I don't know. Always seems to be standing
Eyes.
behind you.
Eyes that never
She
stop
might have a
looking at
couple
you.
of them.
Yeah, she may have a few levels.
An office just for keeping prisoners too.
Yeah.
That was also a great bit of role play. Like, I absolutely love the fact that one, you just didn't have Inara like be forced to sleep on the outside, which then would make Emily be forced to like break in because that's what Inara would do. But instead,
Yeah.
he trap her in an
Honestly,
office.
It did not register to me that it was a temple either. Like, because everyone just described it as, oh, you go get your sword magic stuff on here. So imagining Inara staying the night at a temple was probably not the best idea. But
Well, I think it was a great idea.
It's fantastic. Shaylin is this goddess of family and love and passion, and also artistry, right? And
She's
and
a
protection.
mix of like the muse and Aphrodite and something else mushed together.
Let's just say that Inara is passionate about the artwork that is the sword that she carries.
Right?
Yes.
So it fits.
But the universe telling a story, like Shaylin's domains, I just grabbed it and looked it up, are creation and family and passion and protection. That's Inara in many ways.
That
So
is not intentional, not in my part, not anybody's part.
is there a way? Is there, in game, right? Not intentional, but in game, did the elf cleric patron, who just like pops in, hey, how can I help you? Right?
Mhm.
I wonder if she got a read in game. I wonder if she got a read on Inara and was like, yeah, you can stay the night. Right?
But was it
That's
just
iffy
about the dog?
But is iffy about the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all are.
So if any of you have
great.
played the video game or the standalone or the module Pathfinder Kingmaker, there's an encounter with some worshippers of Shaylin, and one of the hirelings you can get, she wanted to be a paladin of Shaylin and failed because she wasn't artistic enough. Bailed out of the college because she thought it was silly and didn't like the art and all that stuff. And you really get to see how serious like the more zealous Shaylin followers are about how important art is, and like they get really grumpy and like that and they threaten to kill her if she doesn't come back. So like you're gonna come back and learn a trade. You're gonna be an artist, and like, oh no, I don't want to. So the followers of Shaylin take the art and beauty portion very seriously. Yeah,
That's
it's very very interesting.
instead of like, whipping your hand with a ruler, they're like, you draw it and you make it happy,
Yeah.
You'll put a few more happy little trees on that picture, buddy.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the Japanese with their calligraphy and how it's
Yeah.
like it's revered, like with somebody that can do the perfect calligraphy. It's like it's an art form and it's like in the temples. And the same thing with their archery with what's the name of the practice of samurai archery? It's all about the form and
Yep.
I
everything.
don't remember.
Even more than the accuracy, the form is what's important. So yeah, there are some echoes of real life, like specifically medieval views and about how Pathfinder builds its world. I really think Paizo hits the nail on the head in a lot of ways, like how to create a rich world. Our
Right.
GM says, "I'll take that and run with it."
I love the glaive that becomes a sword brush, right? I think it's really cool. It's a really fantastic
That
game.
I actually got from a feat in first edition Pathfinder.
Bladed brush.
Bladed brush. Yeah, I have a fighter who has it because their master was a follower of Shan.
Pretty cool.
Actually, just triggered a memory. Have any of you watched the movie Hero from Jet Li? Jet Li made a movie called
Yes.
Hero, and that was one of the
Not
scenes
now.
is when he's in the calligraphy college, and he's doing the big giant, I don't know, poster or whatever,
Yeah.
while they're, while fighting off the arrows and.
Oh yeah, that's
Great
true.
movie.
He's in that octagonal room doing
Mhm.
calligraphy after calligraphy after calligraphy, and then you see him use those moves on the battlefield.
Yeah. Anyway, some reason I just happened to pop into my mind.
Yeah.
That's smart movie.
Speaking of the ooze room and Fawin getting almost eaten, so one of my coworkers is actually playing the same module, The Age of Ashes, but they've been playing it for a while. So they're I'm cautious and he's cautious to not spoil it because I don't think any of us have read ahead except for maybe Stacy. I've read ahead in the module, so
I have not.
that we will encounter this fresh. But he did mention that because I was like, oh yeah, one of our characters almost died to that gelatinous cube. And he's like, oh yeah, one of our characters did die to it.
Oh,
And it was the same it was kind of a similar deal. And I didn't get a lot of detail, but apparently this person had gotten trapped in the ooze and they were spending all their time trying to push him out or pull them out or somehow get something in and hook them and drag them out of the ooze rather than attack the ooze itself. And they didn't have any really strength-based characters. I think they were all pretty more on the magic user type side. So yeah, they did not get the person out in time.
oh. Like I said, Fawin was one more round, like almost any amount of damage, and she would have been dying. And then, of course, as we found out, when you're at 0, when you are dying and take damage, it becomes dying 2, dying 3, dead, right?
Dead. Really quick.
Oozes are no joke. I mean, they're dumb and they're stupid, and you hate to die by an ooze, but they're no joke. In the Pathfinder 1 game, Emily, remember down in the sewer of a different campaign, Emily's team, weren't you down there? Yeah, wasn't it?
It was Jessica. Shout out. She played Inara's mom in the flashback episode. And it was my dad.
And your dad.
That area was my dad. That specifically was the one that got stuck.
the rogue.
Me. It was the rogue.
The road comes around the corner and just like bloop. Yeah.
I believe somebody
And he
else
almost
was
died.
DMing. What?
In his defense, he was running and it got him.
I think that's true. Yeah, you
There
guys
was,
were
like,
chasing.
no-
Ran into it.
Yeah.
You literally ran into it.
And these were all like our party was split up into 3 groups, I think.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was DMing. I had to give Jess a pretty big hint. She was like, well, I'm going to do this thing. And I was like, if you do anything but attempt to save, there's going to be a cost. Like I had to, let her know that like, you've got to get him out this round or it's going to be bad news bears. So shout out to Corel, the halfling thief. Woohoo.
Hey, splitting the party is really problematic.
It's really dangerous.
Your character can die in a bookstore.
Yep.
Or checking out a library.
How many points did you have left when that trap hit you? Hit Plame?
3, I think. 3. Something like that. It wasn't a ton.
Scary.
Yep. I'm
And
gonna
even-
blame, the things that we've had to be challenged with on the fact that you've got to be very careful. Like Brook went to the store and almost bought some dice because they would fit Fawin perfectly. And I think that's the only thing that kept her alive. Like I almost bought the dice and she almost died, right? Dice has to be gifted to you if you're going to replace the dice you have with new dice for a character. You just got to take the consequences of karma.
I just bought some new D20s down at Night Arms, and I was hoping I could kill off some point numbers of them.
DMs are different.
That's for sure. So we gave the painting to Stagram.
We're where we get our next big clue. The hawk will return and Cinderclaw will rise, or something very similar to that.
Then we wandered around to the other side and we met a couple of characters.
They were cute. I want to keep them.
The kobolds, yeah.
The kobold, yes, that was the last one.
No. I don't like the kobolds at all.
Which, not that I was metagaming in my head or anything, but the one kobold hit a fear spell. And
Like a nasty one. I
a
don't even
nasty one.
I assume that must have been an item, but holy cow.
To affect multiple people, it's a 3rd level spell. It's a 3rd level spell. So that means a 5th level kobold, if my meta is correct. It could be an item.
Or it's a dragon ability because they're dragons.
Oh,
They
are
are
dragons.
dragons.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking is A, the other one didn't do it, and B, their dragon fire was the potion that they gave us.
yeah.
Yeah, chemical fire.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just remember, they are mighty dragons. Arr, so.
And then and someone tried out a new spell and deafened Inara for about an hour.
Man,
A minute.
for a minute,
Well,
yeah.
it felt like I think
It
was
felt like an hour.
playing.
Hour of gameplay, yeah.
Yes.
Made
That
for
was,
some good
that was a
roleplay.
good spell. I mean,
It
good
was-
for the bad guys.
Yeah, it was a great spell. Fawin's getting ready to cast it, and Inara steps right in front of her, which was awesome, to face off.
I don't even think she stepped in front of her. You just didn't think it would hit me.
Right, like that's
Yeah.
Brook thinking, hey, it'll be just even Inara will make this save. I think it was a Constitution save.
I don't,
Fortitude.
Yeah.
which is my strongest.
Fortitude's like great.
Yeah.
The dice don't care.
And then I rolled badly. And then I used a hero point and rolled again and got a natural one.
Natural
one.
Yeah. And I gave you one of my hero points because I was like, this is kind of my fault. So here, have a hero point, natural one.
There were all the 1s and 20s that last 4 episodes. Well, especially 1s. A lot of 1s. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dice were really swinging. So,
Mhm.
which we'll come back to this in just a second. But that fear effect that, affected from the kobolds affected a bunch. And then Fawin kind of fought fire with a fear effect or haunting him back at them. But that, we'll talk about this in a minute, that created a great chance for Plame and Fawin to have a moment. But Jeremy, you were going to say something.
What were the names of those kobolds? They were cute.
They were cute. They were cute.
I had a hard time picking out the accents of those little guys. Yeah.
I think you did good.
I had like all kinds of different options. At one point, I was thinking like a bad Austrian accent because kobolds are originally from German mythology.
Ah,
right.
yeah. The dragons.
I'll be my fire on you.
Oh, I was gonna say, there are a lot of differences in the artwork in Pathfinder 1 and Pathfinder 2E.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest changes, goblins and hobgoblins got the football head, and they're more like Galarian only kind of situation. Also, kobolds. Kobolds got a pretty cool art rework. They went from being like skinny, more humanoid looking small creatures with like backwards legs and animalistic legs. That's the old kobold. The new kobolds look like really cool, like dragon morph, like little tiny dragon creatures. They have like
Yeah.
like almost a shark shaped head and like crazy teeth and little horns going out the sides.
Salamander romance.
Salamander's
Yeah,
what
like
I
a
think of,
salamander.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The salamander dragon thing. Yeah.
And apparently
I absolutely love that artwork. I think it's a really cool take on kobolds.
Yeah. They're thick salamanders. So
Yeah.
now goblins had always had kind of the football shaped head, right? But then hobgoblins were new.
Kind of like the very, very early art for goblins for Pathfinder weren't like that. Somewhere along the way in Pathfinder 1,
Got wider.
they threw that way, but and then hobgoblins just like took it on. And in Pathfinder 1, they had like more of a smaller orc looking face kind of deal. They were somewhere between orcs and goblins, and then in Pathfinder 2e they got the full on piezo goblin effect, which is awesome. I think it's great. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to play Boddy. I love the idea of that, like that kind of weird looking character, and what's going on in their little head. They're big. Everybody thinks that the body should be like small. because he's in goblinoid. No, hobgoblins are big. They're
hobgoblins are
human
big.
sized. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
I
just
always
weird looking. They're
imagined
just
him
Except for the
as,
run
like-
sages, and they're kind of like half the
Yeah,
size,
yeah.
right?
mhm.
There you go.
I always imagined him as like similar to Inara sized.
Yes,
Or bigger.
but he's like
taller, probably.
yeah, like a marathon runner that hunches over all the time. He's pretty tall, but just keeps himself stooped.
But yeah, but he's a little tall even for a hobgoblin. So
Yeah.
I think.
He's taller and thicker than normal hobgoblins.
That moment in the tavern guest room, whenever he and Fawin, I did it. Golly jeepers. He and
You're doing
Inara
so good.
have that moment where she's like, where the heck is Fang? And then he's like, I was trying to be friendly.
Yeah, well, she grabs him and pulls him like by the collar, like, what'd you do? And he's like, hey, let's calm down a moment here. Yeah. It was out of sheer surprise and like self-defense, like what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, by the way, amazing moment. The dice told a great story on that one too. A good role play opportunity. I loved it.
Which we're running out to the end of, the time that we have available with everybody.
The really
But
awesome role play situation.
yeah, let's talk about that role play moment kind of at the end of episode 47.
What happened?
Well, we made peace with the kobolds.
No, you made peace with the kobolds.
The small folk have beef.
Wargy had gotten scared, so Inara had gone off to go get him. Deaf Inara had gone off to go get him, but as she comes back, she finds Plame, like huddled away from her, like down the hallway away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such
So,
a
yeah,
great
he had
scene that
gotten-
you guys did.
Super hard hit with those, like a double, 2-layer sphere spell. So he's sphere 2, and you could tell he just kind of lost it there for a bit.
Yeah.
Until it wore off. And then once it finally wore off and he realized a little bit of, back to himself, and he kind of retreated a bit.
There's been a few instances throughout the game when there's been
There was
attacks.
one other instance with another fear spell earlier on.
Mhm.
It was not as bad, but it still, you could tell it kind of hit him pretty hard. And he almost took a step backwards and like retreated, but he rallied that time.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets rallied this time, but it was more of the Christmas story beating up the bully scene kind of a rally.
Yeah.
I feel like
he needed a hug, so Inara just came in and hanged him.
Yes.
Emily, where did that come from? I mean, we've always said Inara has this big heart. We kind of mentioned it at the beginning of the episode, near the beginning. We said we'd come back to it. Was that just you role playing, or did you know instantly? Oh, this is how Inara would react, or what happened?
I knew that's how she would react because I think there's a part of her that is very similar to Plame, but she's just never shown it before.
Oh, that's wild.
It's interesting. But yeah, I think that was a very touching moment, and Plame, kind of leaned into it, and maybe a little bit of a connection there, but it was brief. And then, it was kind of like, well, all right, let's go. They're going to need our help. And then there was one other person involved in that one other entity, one other being.
Oh,
Wargy.
There was a little cat watching this whole thing unfold.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Which
But Wargy had taken off and was also frightened.
Yeah. He had a critical
Which-
failure on that.
I was worried that Wargy was going to take a wrong turn and either get us into another fight or get killed. I was like, uh-oh, it's going to be bad. I'm pretty sure that it's Hal's real life side quest to see if he can get all of us to cry at the table. At least
I don't know
once.
about that.
That Plame has got so many amazing role play moments and the story moments and the emotions come out. I was describing to somebody that was asking about the game about how these characters can take a long life of their own, and I said, yeah, we just had in our last session, we had a moment where some emotion came out through our smallest, goofiest character, who you think would be this little monster, but is the background that's written for the character just connects with your heart in a way that you wouldn't expect, and before you know it, he's telling a story and you're teary-eyed at a table playing pretend with a bunch of adults.
exactly.
Yeah. Playing with dolls, little creepy dolls.
Yeah.
Stabby little dog.
And
Yeah.
again, who would have known that there would be such this fantastic, like you can really see this fantastic dynamic between Inara and Plame. Like there's something like I want to see
think
more of
it's,
that dynamic. Like not necessarily, you know, the comfort distraught dynamic, but like the two of them together, they're gonna cause some chaos.
Just imagine Inara and Plame as best friends. Going crazy.
Why do I
Oh
see
my
this as kind of
gosh.
like Colossus and Wolverine, right? Where Nara just picks Plame up and throws him at the enemy, and Plame's got his sword out in front.
That's mass special.
That would be perfect.
Oh man, we're
I
having so
can't-
much fun, but guys,
I know. We got to get back and tell more of this story. We're on the march to 50 very, very soon. 50 episodes. Woo.
that means we're episodes away from having been hosting for an entire year.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's absolutely
Um,
crazy too.
Quick question. Will the listeners have heard the little flashback with Boddy yet?
They will have. That would probably happen in episode 42-ish. So
Okay,
Yep.
we'll talk about that next fourth action.
oh yeah. Maybe we'll have the fourth action flashback episode because maybe there'll be maybe there'll be this thing they've already seen with Boddy. Maybe there'll be some more Inara flashback.
Well, we have to
Be a
record a couple
stagger
more.
when he dies.
Yeah, we have some more flashback content that we need to record that might get in these episodes that are about to come out. At the time of listening to this, they'll have just come out. We still haven't got all of our little. We have a lot of like backstory for all these characters that we have like written or have concepts of that we haven't put down on audio yet. But between now and when these episodes come out, we might have more for you.
And people are
We need to hurry too, because we're gonna die. And
we're gonna die.
Yes.
You don't. I mean, you want the death to be extra dramatic, and if they don't know anything about us, then they won't care. So
exactly.
There's like on the TV show Lost, there's like you know something's about to happen with the character. We start learning a whole bunch of backstory on it. It's like, why are you telling me so much about this character? What are you trying to say?
Why are you making me want to be like empathetic with him?
Yes. Why are you trying to make this more emotional impact? What's happening? Yeah.
I think it's time
To roll
for initiative.
initiative. See you guys.
We'll see y'all next time, guys.
Hasta
Thanks for
la
listening. Bye.
vista.